Welcome, YouTube friends and family, to today's edition of the Wellness Homesteader, where we are going to be making some of the first gifts from my kitchen. And this one is super delicious and very easy to make. So what are we making? We're gonna have to stay tuned to find out. We're gonna make it through this, y'all. I've had 2 choking fits and had to start over. So what are we making today? We are going to be making some Christmas jam. This particular recipe came from a video from the Needy Homesteader from December 2020. And I always believe in giving full credit when credit is due. I have made this multiple times. It is absolutely delicious and a well-received gift. Thank you all who responded to my query about length of video. The majority said 30 minutes or as long as you want to make it, but quite a few of you said 15 to 20, and I understand that, so I'm going to try to vary it. Today's video will not be a short video. Whenever I do a canning video, I feel like there are steps that I need to include to make it a safe process. Now, you can totally make this and refrigerate it. It's just going to have, it doesn't have shelf life, it's going to have a refrigerator life. Pardon me, y'all. So what you're going to need is 12 ounces of cranberries, which is just your regular bag, like yay. You need 40-ounce bag of frozen pitted cherries. And the ones I like to use are from Walmart, dark sweet cherries. They didn't have the 40-ounce bags. So 16 times 3, 6 times 3 is 8. So I've got a little over that. Isn't gonna hurt anything. You're going to need 2 oranges to squeeze into juice. You can also use some of the, not the rind, what do you call that? The zest, there we go. If I didn't say it, 7 cups of sugar. Cinnamon, if you like nutmeg, I hate it. I've never put nutmeg in it and it tastes just fine. A little bit of cloves, and that's all there is to it. So these are readily available and usually pretty economical items at this time of the year. So let me get started. I need to wash my cranberries. I need to do a few things, which I'm not going to bother, showing you and making the video too long. And as I work, I have a story for y'all, because today might be a little dramatic around here. I hope you'll stay tuned. I know you all know how to cut a cherry in 2, but I want to show you. Can y'all see that little piece of, I'm going to say it's part of the pit of the cherry. That's one of the reasons, even though they say pitted, I always cut mine in 2. And you might be wondering why I wear gloves. Well, there's a reason, because I'm vain and it stains your fingernails. So you just want to go through and just slice them all in 2. I will tell you, I find it easiest to do it when they're still partially frozen. Otherwise, they have a tendency to get pretty mushy. You can quarter these if you feel like half of a cherry is too much to get in your mouth at once. It will cook down. It will get smaller. But I'm telling you, look how beautiful these are. Ooh, don't want to get it on my very expensive shirt. Ha ha. All right, guys, I'm going to finish. This is my second bag. I've got 1 to go. I'll get this all done. And then we're going to head over to the stove and start cooking down our cranberries. I am going to go ahead and juice oranges. Y'all know how to do that. What if you don't have oranges? It says 2 fresh squeezed oranges plus water to equal 1 cup. You could use a cup of orange juice as well. All right, guys, stay tuned. All right, well, I think I have everything pre-measured. So maybe this video won't be 30 minutes. I'm not sure. So what I have in the pot is some washed, pick through cranberries. Remove anything that isn't ripe enough or that's smooshy. I kind of missed one. And what we're going to add to this is our 2 squeezed oranges with enough water to equal 1 cup. I was actually quite lucky in that I got 3/4 cup of juice out of my cranberries. So what we are going to do here, and I might as well talk about the elephant in the room. I'm going to bring this up to a nice warm temperature, and we're going to cook it for about 5 minutes until the cranberries pop. And then we'll get on to other things. Looks like Kym Clark needs to clean up some spatters. Oops. You turn on that. Oops. Light, you see things you don't see, right? So first of all, my hand is not dirty. When you have systemic lupus, for some people, you can have problems with your tendons when you have, joint swelling or whatever. The sheath, or the covering to the tendon, will sometimes what they call rupture, but it's a tear. And so then it bleeds and it will run down your hand. I don't even know how I did this, y'all, but it's not dirt. Just know that. So, it's about 8:13 right now, and I have to tell you, I hate for y'all to talk to my turkey neck. It's timely for Thanksgiving now. Me and trees, y'all. Me and trees. So I had 2 trees. One was completely dead. The other one, which was in danger of my home, it wasn't dead, but it was leaning, and the back roots had started to come up out the ground. And that's what happens a lot here. I don't know why. And the woods line that I have is quite old. Last year I had 55 plus 4, so 59 total trees removed. Now I'm up to 61, which was the year I was born, so maybe that's lucky, and that's all I'll have. What happened yesterday, y'all, I gotta share this because I was like, really? We may hear doorbells and etc. Just don't worry about it. The generator service guy is coming at 9:30 probably 9:30 to do my annual check. And y'all, if you have a generator, that is an important service. And so I just do it every year. It keeps your warranty good. But the guy should have finished yesterday. But yesterday afternoon, about 3 o'clock, they came to the door and said, well, you need to come here and see something. So the one feller was roped up in the tree, and he had taken a video, and they showed me the video, which I could see nothing. He said, well, there's a 5-foot crack in the tree. It just looked like bark to me. So, and you're gonna start hearing these cranberries pop if you wonder what that noise is. And in the background, I have my Ball Fresh Tech canner heating up my jars. Anyway, I was like, wait a minute, y'all, that's the neighbor's tree. The fence was like right here and the tree was over here. And they were like, well, we talked to them and they don't want to spend the money, so we'll do it for $1,500. I was like, wait, what? I'm not paying for the neighbor's tree. So he said, well, we'll do it for $12. I said, I don't care if you do it for free. I can't cut down the neighbor's tree. Well, I knew they wouldn't do it for free. Just say that. So I said, I tell you what I will do. I will call the next door neighbor. Okay, watch the popping. And speak with her about it. And I did tell her, I said, I'll go halves with you because they've got some health concerns going on over there. And, you know, it's Christmas and they have kids, you know. So, wow, that is like puppy milk pop or some. Net, they got upset because, wow, that is really poppy. Because I wouldn't allow them to cut down the tree, and I wouldn't give them $1,200 was the lowest price he gave me. So what did they do? They never said a word. They've been here about 2 hours. They just packed up and left. And they left the trailer with all the trash on it. Well, a little bit later, thank you cameras, I saw they were back. So I went out there and I'm like, what is, the one feller was back. I'm like, what is going on? And he was like, oh, we had an emergency. A tree fell on a house, so we had to leave. Could you have let me know? So then he starts trying to hard sell me on, we'll cut this brush out for $200. I'm like, I'll do it myself for free. Lord. while the work they do is good, I will never use them again. This is an offshoot from the company that took out my 55 trees last year that I had such a debacle getting them to come and get their equipment. Yeah, I'm just not going to use them anymore. I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes and see where we are. So they have to come back today because they aren't finished because they got big fat mad and left. And you know, I believe in second chances, and last time they left their equipment here for an entire weekend, it leaked oil all over my driveway, and it's a whole story. So hopefully I'll be back today. I'm a very kind person, and every day someone has come to the door, "Can I use your bathroom?" and blown up my bathroom. Tired of cleaning everything, disinfecting it, right? Or the main feller, he comes and says, "You got the coffee ready?" No. Well, I take 2 sugars and cream. So today I'm going to let them know I'm filming today. The kitchen is closed, and the grocery store has a public restroom. All right, guys, I'm talking too long. I'm gonna let these cook a little bit longer. You just wanna make sure they're all popped and cooked through. Bring you back for next steps. Our cranberries have split. It's been just over 5 minutes. Took a little longer. I turned the heat down too far. So to that, we are going to add, mix together, 1/4 cup of sugar, 6 tablespoons of pectin, 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, and I added about a teaspoon of cinnamon. The original recipe called for 1/2 teaspoon. I like cinnamon. And it doesn't taste of cinnamon exactly. It just enhances the fruit flavor. So you want to then put in your cherries. And I did grate some orange zest and put that in there as well. That's my own addition. Now, because these cherries are quite cold, it's going to be a problem. It's going to take a while. So you want to bring it to a boil. So I'm not going to leave the stove. I'm going to stay close by. I'm going to wash up a couple dishes. And then in the meantime, make sure you have your 6 3/4 cup of sugar. The original recipe, according to Needy Homesteader, was 5 pounds of sugar or 11 cups. I used, believe me, 7 cups total, plenty sweet. And you want to have, the cherries are quite sweet. You want to have a little bit of tang from the cranberry. So let's let this come up to a boil. Bring you back at that point. All right, I have not added the additional sugar yet. You want to bring this to a boil that cannot be stirred down. So you can see it's sort of boiling, but as soon as I stir it, it quits. You may feel like the mixture is awfully thick. As the cherries have released their juice, it has thinned down quite a bit, which is a good thing. And then when we add our additional 6 3/4 cup sugar, that will actually liquefy, so it won't be quite as thick as it is right now. I did have my burner on high. I found for my stove, and I have a glass top stove. I'm using enamel coated cast iron for my pot. It was wanting to stick, and we don't want that. We don't want to scorch all of this beautiful jam. So I went and got one of my vintage tall stools to sit down, because once we add the sugar, I will bring it back, but we have to stir it constantly with it. Bring it back to a full rolling boil and then stir it constantly for 4 minutes. So I thought, why not sit down, rest my back. All right, guys, I'll bring it back when we add the sugar. We're at our full rolling boil that I can't stir down. Add your sugar all at once. I know it's a lot of sugar, y'all. I know. But it's actually less sugar than Needy said the original recipe called for by 4 cups. So, and I've kept this and gifted this and eaten this myself and given some to my mother. I've never had a problem with it staying fresh or any problems with the canning process. So I feel like it's totally safe. That is a lot of acidic fruit, number one. And number two, that is a ton of sugar, y'all. So let's get this all mixed in. Now's where you got to really watch it, y'all. Don't step away from it. We're almost there. Okay. We're going to bring it back to a boil that can't be stirred down. And we're going to boil it for 4 minutes, and you need to stir it constantly. If you are bothered by the foam, which inevitably will form when you make jams, you can add a pat of butter. It doesn't bother me. I don't really want to add it fat with all that sugar, just saying. So it takes a while for it to come back to a boil with all that sugar, but you can see it's much more liquid. All right, y'all, we're at our full rolling boil that we can't stir down. And I've set the timer for 4 minutes, and we're just gonna stir it constantly. That'll prevent boilovers. I do have quite a lot of foam. I may try to skim some of that off it. Oopsie. And you try not to slop it on the burner, because then you got a whole nother thing to deal with. Once it's hot, guys, it's hot. So be very, very careful. This is like molten lava. Don't burn yourself. We're all finished. Let's get to jarring up here. So the instructions I'm giving you are for jelly jars. So they are the 8 ounce, and you want to fill it to 1/4 inch headspace. That might be a little bit shy. That might be way too much. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. And this stuff is like super glue as it gels. It can be a little challenging to clean up. Well, I way overfilled this jar. So let's take a little bit out. I did end up adding a pat of butter because mine got really, really foamy. I don't ever remember doing that before. All right, I'm sure we're gonna need that again. I'll clean that up later. One thing you wanna make sure you do is you wanna debubble. Even though it's fairly liquid, it never hurts. If you have a big air pocket and you need to adjust, add a little bit more of the jam mixture, you certainly can do that. Probably the most critical step, and these are smoking hot, y'all, is really make sure you clean that rim, because one little glob, like this one's super messy, one little glob of sugar between the lid and the jar edge, it won't seal. And you'll have to eat it. Oh, too bad, huh? So I am wiping with vinegar. I have the best results with that, but I know a lot of people just use plain water. My 4 jars lid rings just finger tight. Into the canner we go. I'll bring you back, talk to you about processing times when I have all the jars filled. All right, y'all. I ended up with 12 jars, and the reason for that is I used a little bit of extra cherries. So I am using the Ball Fresh Tech water bath canner. My jars are covered with 2 inches of water. I will wait until it comes to a full rolling boil, then I'll begin timing. For pints, it's 10 minutes with a 5-minute rest time. Now I am going to use this jar for the little bit extra to put in the fridge so that I can enjoy some Christmas jam on my yogurt. All right, y'all, all of our jars have sealed. How gorgeous is this? Like, they're still watery, cranberry colored jam. It's a deep, deep burgundy. It's a beautiful, beautiful jam. It's quite tasty, not overly sweet. You can really taste the individual fruit. One of my personal favorites, and I'm not a big jam and jelly. I love to make it, but I don't like to eat it so much because it does have sugar in it. So my plan at this point, y'all, is to see you on Thursday. Lord willing and the trees don't fall, I guess I'll say. Still a no-show on my tree, guys. But my generator service is complete and everything checked out just fine, so I'm happy about that. I have 13.5 jars. This I'm just going to put in the refrigerator when it has time to cool down just a little bit, so I don't raise the temperature of the refrigerator. So if you do me a big favor, go ahead and smash that like button. Drop me a comment below. Is this a recipe you would try? Makes a great hostess gift, even for Thanksgiving. I know we're getting right up against Thanksgiving. Or for a Christmas affair, or as a gift, tie a pretty ribbon or put a tag on it. Include a loaf of your homemade bread, or if you're not a baker, buy some nice crusty bread from the bakery. It's one that is sure to please. So until I see you again, be healthy, be well, be blessed, and take care.